So Jack, you've given so much information today and so many takeaways. So if we were to come to you and say, give us the top 3 that's going to make an immediate impact on the business, what would those top 3 be?
Well, Karen, I'd answer it in 2 ways, because there's a side that we've covered here today that has to do with sales, and there's a side that has to do with sales management. So on the sales side, the first thing I would tell you is systems and processes, systems and processes, systems and processes. And in the systems and processes arena, the first thing would be backward thinking, and that is having your goals in writing, having specific activities identified, and making sure that you're doing those activities. And there is a system and a processed way to do that that'll ensure that you're going to turn the numbers in way better than you ever have. Secondly is something we call inspect the baskets, which is proactive pipeline management, and that's identifying your prospects, customers, and clients and staying regularly in touch with them. And then the third is a touch system, and that is figuring out how to stay in touch with them by way of personal visits and phone calls, emails, voicemails, social media, and all of that. And instead of touching them with all things about you, rather figuring out how I can help them. So those would be my 3 big takeaways on the sales side. And again, the theme is consistent: systems and processes, and the word called leverage. How can I do more business with less work? Now on the sales management side, the big 3 is 1, understanding what you're trying to build. I call that your vision. Secondly, key people in key spots, because if you staff your direct reports with people that have been there, done that, they'll take you there quicker than you could ever figure it out on your own. And then the third is creating a winning culture, making the environment in your business such the people that work there actually look forward to going to work every day. And if you can take care of those 3, you're on your road to success.
Okay, that's great. So going back to systems and processes, a couple of people have said that that would require a full-time position in order to implement that, in order to categorize their customers. I mean, how would you recommend that they go about it? I mean, does it require full-time? Is it worth the investment?
All right, so the bottom line is that's BS. That is not a full-time position, and it is not Herculean in task. What we need to do is we need to make an upfront investment of our time. It is not a lot of time, and you can go in gently and then add things along the way. But the key is to start the process of identifying those prospects, customers, clients, and other centers of influence that could drive your business, and then figure out some type of system of regularity as to how you're going to make sure that you're in front of them, and in front of them with things that they value, as opposed to you trying to sell them things. People do not want to be sold. So to change the definition of selling from selling people things to helping them with their needs, opportunities, and problems is the key and the essence of good selling. And that whole nonsense about, oh, it's going to be a lot of work and I need another person to do this, that's an excuse, and they really need to be called out on it.
Okay, and one final question for you, because they're talking about the cultural differences and, you know, some of the touch points that you mentioned, and they go, well, that's not going to work in Australia. That might work in the US. What do you say to those that have, you know, participated today about the, cultural differences, and what should they do about that?
Cool. I love the question. So the first thing that I would tell you is that that is bogus as well, because I have been now in Australia for 5 consecutive years on multiple visits, and I've got clients that their business is doubled and tripled and quadrupled doing these "it won't work in Australia" ideas. So the first thing is you need to get over yourselves and say these things actually will work. It's really me and my personal hesitancy to kind of stand out from the crowd. The second thing is that if you don't buy into that answer, then I would tell you this: the concept's the same. Figure out what will work in Australia and then do that.
Fantastic. Thanks, Jack.
Absolutely.